Hello once again, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get into this week's episode, of course, a shout out to our sponsors that always help us bring this show to you for free, no matter how far and how often in between it is that we do this wonderful podcast that you've come to love. Thanks to Angelo's Pizza. If you've never tried the award-winning Angelo's Pizza on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio, what are you doing? You got to get there. Not only is the pizza good, but they've got pasta and all sorts of other great dishes there. So go to Angelo's on Madison Avenue in beautiful Lakewood, Ohio. And good news for those of you who love attending AIW live shows. It's quite possible. We're still working out some details. We'll see what happens. That maybe you'll get to enjoy AIW and Angelo's together again real soon.
I don't know. That guy didn't text me back.
Oh, there you go.
Brandon, if you're out there listening, we added you to the website. Check it out.
Well, there you go. There's the information for you. Of course, thanks to Thrift Store Jobber, who's always helped us out in the past. And look, if you like some retro pro wrestling t-shirts and other merchandise, check
NASCAR.
out.
He's real big in the NASCAR flipping game.
That's true. NASCAR as well. Check out Thrift Store Jobber. It's got all sorts of cool stuff. Whether he's in business or not, we're going to shout out Pollyanna DIY. He's done amazing work for us making enamel pins. Everybody always still talking about the D'Lo Brown bobblehead pins that were made for us. That was all courtesy of Pollyanna DIY, and he's got all sorts of incredible products there for you to check out.
I don't think he has any products left. I don't know.
No, is he sold out finally? Is he all out?
I don't know. I don't even know if he has a website anymore. I mean, the whole COVID year's a blur. I know he moved to Ohio though.
Yeah, moved to Ohio, where he's already got this built-in fan base thanks to teaming with AIW, but was planning to get out of the game that he was in, and so who knows? Let us know, Pollyanna DIY. And of course, thanks to
nothing on the big cartel says we're down for maintenance at the moment. So I think that's it. That's it.
That's
for
it.
Pollyanna DIY.
Well, hey, thanks to him.
Maybe we can get him out of retirement, make some comeback show pins or something.
Yeah, that'd be sweet, right? We'll figure that out. Maybe some go for broke pins or something. Who knows?
Get on him. Annoy him.
Yeah.
He's got 2,198 followers. Let's get that up to 2,200.
Yeah,
by the end
2
of the
more
week.
people.
2 followers.
Please.
Come on.
That's all it takes. And thanks to, of course, the sponsor. Thanks to the merger of Smart Mark TV and Independent Wrestling.tv, otherwise
Smart
known as
Mark Video, Steve. Come on. This is like our 5th take because of the bad internet connection.
Smart Mark Video and Independent Wrestling.tv, otherwise known as IWTV. That merger's made it so much easier. It's never been easier to watch AIW, whether you're streaming on IWTV along with all sorts of other wrestling promotions, independent wrestling promotions, I should say. Look, it's $9.99 a month. Use the code ABSOLUTE, and you're not going to get that 5-day free trial currently. It's suspended because this is a huge week coming up for IWTV, the showcase
a pause for the cause, a pause for the cause of independent wrestling as a whole. We got to waive that. The free trial in hopes of some real sign-ups and subscriptions and grow that number.
Yeah, but look, it's $9.99, and you're going to get 14 independent wrestling shows during the course of the showcase of the independents. And on top of that, the IWTV library is just ridiculous. The amount of content that you get for $9.99 is incredible. But to get a Mania weekend package of shows for just $10, you can't beat that.
Not even $10, Steve. $9.99.
Well,
You're saving a penny.
There could be tax in there. That's a thing.
Well, let's not talk about the tax man.
Yeah. No, we won't talk about the government entities here. But also, and then smartmarkvideo.com, if you love that physical media, basically any DVD ever put out by AIW is there at smartmarkvideo.com, and you can also purchase the MP4s, because the thing is, on IWTV, it's kind of a rotating library of AIW, but if you want to watch all the shows, you want to own them, smartmarkvideo.com, baby. It's the way to go.
I'm still challenging somebody to buy the entire AIW library now that Smart Mark has every single title. No one's done it yet, so there's still time. I know you guys got those stimmy checks.
Well,
I don't know how much it would take to buy the whole shebang there, but I want somebody to buy every single title one day.
I think, is that, do we throw together packages? You know what I mean? Like, you can buy the WrestleMania collection. Can you get it? Can people buy,
Like
I need to figure this out.
box set?
A box set, the Absolution box set, the Hell on Earth box set. You know what I mean? Like, something. Little box set action to get that going with different packages.
Email Mike Burns, give him more things to do. Give him more tasks to do. Email Mike Burns directly. Say you want a Absolution box set, a Gauntlet for the Gold box set, Hell on Earth box set, AIW Complete box set. Do it all.
But don't email him this week. He's a busy guy this week.
Oh yeah, I mean this is a little change of pace for us. Typically, at least the last 3 or 4 years, we are going to Mania weekend in some capacity. And this year, nothing. I got nothing. I got no planes to worry about, no Airbnbs to worry about, nothing. We are staying in Cleveland this year, and it's a little bit of a strange feeling. I'm not gonna lie, but it feels right. I mean, I feel good about the decision to sit Mania weekend out as far as running a live event and doing this go for broke thing instead. I hope people like it, but it feels good to not have that stress that. If you look at Twitter, it looks like there's a lot of people that have been stressed out these last couple of days. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's an agreeable statement, no doubt about it. Hey, we should welcome you to the show, I guess, officially, though, folks.
I'm here.
Of course, AIW owner John Thorne is here, and my name is Steve Guy, your moderator of sorts. Good to be back in the podcasting chairs here as we come to you from the Paul Greer Studios. Don't forget, John Thorne, that we extended his lease.
Oh, he's been negotiating a lease extension now that the the alleged perhaps return in April live shows are coming back. My cat just knocked a bunch of stuff over. I don't know if you heard it in the background, but
way to go, Whiskers!
A bunch of MJF figs just fell out of a box. So
not even Whiskers likes MJF. How about that? Oh well.
We are here. It's hard sell Monday, baby. We're back.
It is hard sell Monday.
Kind of.
Yeah, sort of. It's premiere week. It is AIW premiere week, which we've never had on IWTV, really. Like, I mean, they've debuted and premiered shows that we've ran, but, like, that's not a series. We created a television series for all of you to watch, and the series premiere and debut.
I don't know if it's television. I don't know what it is.
It's independent
it's
wrestling. TV. TV's television.
It is. It's different. We did the last time we did this podcast. We kind of tried to explain what the concept was. Some people, I think, told me that they've wound up more confused than what we intended. So, I don't know. It is certainly different. It's nothing that I ever thought that I would be even trying or experimenting with. I'm excited. I'm nervous. There's a lot of different emotions going into it, because there is that this is so different and so outside of the realm of what AIW does. And so I guess it's somewhat of a risk-taking thing because it is, it's not what people are expecting, I don't think. And that has me a little bit nervous, but it also has me a little excited. And, when we finally decided to come up with this, we did not think, that there was a live show on the horizon at all. Anytime soon. So, of course, it takes us a few months to kind of iron this whole thing out and get it done and get it recorded and start the whole process. And now it seems maybe we could have some live shows again. We'll see how that goes, but that's a whole other can of worms. Thank you to everybody that helped us sell those 2 nights out later in a couple weeks. But it's the go for broke. I'm very excited. I'm very nervous. There are a lot of just different emotions when I think about it because it's so it's so different than anything that's going on, and I don't know if that's good or bad or it's just nothing. You know what I mean? It could just there's so many different things. I don't think whatever it is makes or breaks AIW, but of course you want people to like it, you want people to watch it, you want people to enjoy it. You know, we've put so much time into this thing. So it is it's kind of a nerve-wracking week, to be honest with you, but I feel nowhere near the pressure probably if I would have had to be selling my fucking front row tickets or something right now. You know what I mean? Like coming up with rent money for a venue or whatever else, and a $3,000 Airbnb or something like that. You know, there's typically around this time there's a lot different stress levels going on. So thanks, we have to say thanks to the mysterious benefactors, the Goldstein brothers. They kind of flipped the expenses bill for us to dive into this whole go for broke thing, and helped us secure the venue and just different things. They cover the expenses for us, so thanks to them for that, because if they didn't do that, we probably don't even get to this point to where we're talking about this.
Yeah, it's very true. And, just so you all know, we set the record straight here. AIW's Go for Broke premieres on IWTV. That's the only place that you can see it. It will be IWTV this Thursday at 6 p.m. is the premiere episode of AIW's Go for Broke. Then you can watch, as it stands right now, it's going to be Thursday episode 1. Then the very immediate following Tuesday, episode 2. As far
as I know, the last time
right.
I have checked with everybody that was the plan. Obviously, IWTV has their own stress and things to deal with and coordinating. But when I've talked to everybody last week, the plan was Thursday at 6 p.m. is episode 1. I don't know how soon that becomes available on VOD, if it becomes available on VOD in this first week or what. And then on Tuesday, I don't know what date is it? Tuesday, I want to say like the
13th.
13th? Okay. Tuesday the 13th at 10 should be episode 2. That is the plan last I checked. I believe that's going to be the plan going forward. And like we said the last time we did the podcast, then we have this at least kind of secured and confirmed through a few weeks at a minimum, to where we are going to keep this Go for Broke thing going on. We've shot and, we're in post-production on the majority of the series right now. And it's kind of left to where we can add things. We can let that play out. It's kind of open-ended, and hopefully people like it. If people are like, oh, this fucking thing sucks, maybe, it doesn't go as long as we were thinking. Maybe if people like it, it goes a little bit longer. You never know. But we're not gonna sugarcoat it and be like, yeah, you guys are gonna love this fucking thing, because we don't know. Like, we love it, we enjoy it, we think we're onto something, but it could be different. It is definitely not like anything else that's being produced right now. You're not gonna see like, the fucking, do everything 20-minute, just marathon sprint matches, whatever you want to call them, that, are commonplace in independent wrestling. This is a little bit different. You will get that on occasion, but there's going to be, a little bit of everything. And it's not, and some of the matches are, they're not going to be put out there to wow you. They're put out there for different reasons. And every match in this series, what I do enjoy about it is there is a purpose and a goal. And, it's, the goal isn't necessarily to go out there and do everything, every move that you know how to do. And, people may like that, people may not like that, but we felt that it was worth taking the risk of trying something different and putting a different presentation out there.
Yeah, pretty much anything that you see happen in AIW's Go for Broke has meaning to it. So everything that you watch has a point to it and there's something behind it and it's going somewhere, there's going to be something from it. So it's really, pay attention, see what's going on. You're going to get a look into roster members that you've never seen and experienced before. And what I mean is not necessarily that you haven't seen or experienced the roster members, but the look that we're going to give you into those wrestlers.
We're giving you a little bit a deeper, I guess, look at the people involved in AIW.
Yeah.
Not exactly the character presentation that perhaps you're used to, or, just the quote unquote storyline or angle or whatever, wrestling term you want to, associate it with. It's more of a look at, who the real person is, a little bit more depth to them. And, this is really a project to shine a light on some of the AIW performers that aren't necessarily always the featured players on the main shows when they were happening on a regular basis. Now, you do get some of those people, but, a lot of it is, utilizing people that have come through the school or people we've discovered through the new talent initiative that weren't, main eventing, or closing shows out at the Odeon or the Tadmore Shrine or what have you. These are a little bit more, I don't, you don't want to use like these terms that like negate the importance of them. It's just people
Right.
that have not gotten their chance to be featured based on, the other caliber of talent or whatever you want to say. It's really just giving them their chance, and there's males and females involved, and people from the AIW school, people from the new talent initiatives, and it's just really honestly just trying something different and trying to give them a platform. And I know we probably mentioned this at the last podcast, but everybody that participated volunteered. They volunteered their time to be a part of it, and we will be putting up their Venmos or Cash Apps or PayPals or, different ways for fans that, if they wish, can directly support the performers. Because, we mentioned the Goldsteins, they kind of flipped the bill for expenses. And, we're hoping that fans help, pay the talent or, contribute to the talent and support the talent. But if they don't, they don't. Everyone was aware that, it's not a sure thing. And it was, everybody's on board with it. So we just thought it was only right if, we're going to do something to raise funds for the wrestlers, that it just goes directly to the wrestlers. That's all.
Yeah, and I could tell you right now, just to give you the heads up on that, we're going to show those things multiple times in the episode. You'll see it at some point as the episode plays out, and it may not be up there for very long. Don't panic, because I know a lot of people love watching the show. If you're watching it right at 6 p.m. on Thursday on IWTV and you want to watch it live and you don't want to hit pause and you're afraid that you've missed somebody's pay stuff, it's going to be there in the credits. I want to throw that out there right now. So it will be there multiple times, but when the episode ends and the credits run, you will be able to then, if you want, go ahead, hit pause, let it freeze. And so if you see maybe multiple people that you want to support financially with, in whatever way, like John said, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, those are the three. Some people have all three. Some people only have a couple.
And some people have none. Some people provide none. They didn't want any money at all. So
yeah,
that's their prerogative. And we're not saying that you have to donate.
No.
It's just something that's there if you want to help these guys and gals out. They did donate their time, and I just think it's only fair, if we're gonna try to raise money, it just goes right to them. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want anything. I just wanted to go directly to them, and hopefully people support. Not only Go for Broke, they support the performers in it, and there's a lot of fresh faces, like I said. and a lot of, people we have not utilized, throughout AIW until this point.
Yeah. And there's like a reality TV component to this that I think everybody's really going to enjoy as we talk about the look behind the people that are involved in AIW. This is just, as we've said multiple times, it's very different. It's hard to talk about this, I'm realizing, without giving too much away. You know?
And I guess, to the reality TV, I guess that's kind of how we associate it. But sometimes, when guys are done performing, they come through the curtain, there was a camera there, and they react how they react, and they say whatever they say, and guys and girls. And sometimes it might play well, sometimes it might play not so well, but there's just a lot of just cameras rolling in the locker room stuff, and just giving people a different look than just what goes on inside of the ring at a wrestling event. And we're just trying something different, and we're hoping people enjoy it. We've poured a ton of time into this thing, like an astronomical amount of time, from developing it to writing it to incredibly long shoot days, shooting all these episodes that we wanted to have in advance. Pretty much we kind of shot almost what we felt was almost the entire thing, and we kind of left it at where it could go on or it can conclude. And I mean, those were some extremely long days, and we edited kind of a pilot together, and we sent it to Smart Mark Video, and they kind of decided, hey, we want to debut this at the Showcase of the Independents. We kind of wanted to maybe debut it a little earlier, but in retrospect, now it seems like maybe this was the right move, because something we have not done, and I know not since your involvement in AIW, Steve, but a long, long time ago, AIW self-produced in the very early days.
Right.
And, I don't know, around 2009 or 10, I think, maybe 11, Smart Mark Video took over all aspects of production. And we've done nothing in-house since, really. For this, we took the production in-house, and it's just, it is so much work, and especially, when you are not a well-oiled machine like Smart Mark Video that is doing this all the time. We were so excited. We shot this thing, and we were like, hey, we're ready to debut next week. We didn't have one fucking thing edited. We're just like, we're good. We got it. And now, we've shot pretty much almost everything, and it's the editing process has taken longer than I think any of us expected, because there are so many different tweaks, and it's like, Steve is handling the editing aspect, and it's like he'll put together a rough thing, and then it's just like it's almost like what I kind of, I guess, attribute to like a knowledge of movies or something. Like Steve will send like, okay, here is the super rough cut of what I'm looking at, and then it's just like, change this, add this, move this, and then we don't do this, so then Steve's got to go through and he's got to render out a completely different episode, and then we got to do it again, and then we're adding commentary and post-production and all this stuff, and it's I'm glad kind of Smart Mark Video wanted to wait to debut it, because I don't think that we would have been prepared to debut it 3 weeks ago or whenever we wanted to get going a month ago, because it's been quite the task to get this whole thing together. And I kind of will let Steve kind of talk on that, because he's taken that burden on. And again, Steve will post his donation things throughout the episode, because he's editing this thing kind of the same as everybody else. Everybody's donating their time for this thing to try to make it and produce something cool for everyone. So again, keep in mind, Steve is the one that is really piecing this whole thing together after it's written and shot and filmed, and he has to kind of put the puzzle together. So, as much as we want everyone to support the wrestlers, if you can, support Steve a little bit too, because he is, and not only is he dealing with putting the pieces together, he has to deal with like my neurotic mind where I'm just like, no, I just want to change it all, after the fact. And, it's nuts, like we're still like, we've produced this whole thing and it's like, we may just change the ending. Like we talked about just changing the ending the other day of what we've shot up to. So, it's an ever changing thing, but I'll let you talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's while I think that things could have been done in time, I mean, there are weeks where this has been more than a full-time job for me, especially the editing process and everything and the shooting. And it's been a task. It's been a lot of fun. And from the production standpoint, for me, man, the funny thing is I know that all of the guys and gals in the locker room feel like that those were stressful days. But then there's me getting everything set up, and I kind of have like this makeshift studio that we're production studio that we're bringing in, to the set and lighting, and I'm teaching people how we need to get different camera shots. I'm teaching people how to record the audio as we're doing these backstage things, trying to be here, there, and everywhere, and it's a lot, and directing where the guys to go with these cameras and things. So there's all of that. And then, the editing process has been something. And I think that while we could have even had it done quickly, initially the idea was let's edit everything and then send it to them. But as we went along, as John, as you alluded to, you being neurotic about certain things, which I knew, it's like I've known you for years now, so I know that it's gonna happen a little bit, and I really pieced together that first episode very slowly so that you could see everything so meticulously. Like, okay, here's how a match will look. Okay, here's how this aspect will look. Here's how this will look, and you looked at them all separately, whether you
we made switches, and also shout out to Jesse the Mark, who has made tons of graphic packages for it, and he was making kind of green screen templates for us to utilize, and this is all stuff like we have no real training or anything. It's all kind of DIY, figuring it out as we've gone on, and it's like. Some of these shoot days we shot like 25 matches in a day, so it was a lot, and as Steve is kind of trying to get the extra things in the back, like I said, shooting guys coming through the curtain, different things. I'm trying to keep the show rolling in the momentum, so to speak, because we only have a venue for so many hours and, people for so many hours. And not to mention, the first shoot day that we did, they're filming a documentary on AIW there. And, that threw a whole wrench in things because they had started shooting a documentary in AIW in 2019 and, COVID happened and the brakes have been put on, and I let the guy know that we were trying this thing, and he was just like, "Oh my God, I have to shoot that." So like, that was happening. They're shooting and they are a pro, like fucking Hollywood operation. Yeah, and they have like, fucking crane cams and monitors, and like every shot they have has like 4 fucking Hollywood cameras on it. And like we're trying to produce this like quote unquote television show with like 2 2020 iPad Pros, and it was very intimidating to say the least. On top of the fact that they're like, "Oh hey, so and so, come sit with me for an hour and do this interview for the documentary," and it's just like, "Hey, so and so, like you're in match 18 of the day, like." we got to get going. You know what I mean? Like, and that was a whole
Yeah.
other kind of wrinkle in this whole thing. On top of the other shoot days seemed to go a little smoother, and just like a movie, we go through and we watch things, and after the fact, because we're trying to get so much content, we go, we have to reshoot that, and we have to set reshoot days and try to get all these people who have already donated their time to come and donate more time. And it is, it has been a very interesting learning experience, on top of the fact that, it is just so different than anything I've ever done. A live show, I feel like I could do a live AIW show in my sleep. Like, it's just so formulaic in my head of what needs to get done and how to do it. And this is just like, it was such a challenge, and it's like learning how to do something I never thought I would have to learn. And I found it very kind of, I don't know, just reinvigorating or something, because we've been kind of on the shelf pretty much for a year, and now we're just like, we're trying this whole completely new thing, and we don't know what we're doing, and we're utilizing pro wrestling students as fucking production people. And, and it's just like, oh, fuck, like, I'm going over everything and blah, blah, blah. Forgot to turn the boom mic on. We have no audio for like 6 segments that we recorded.
Right. We're going to reshoot those, which, is a whole other thing. So then to make sure that doesn't happen, I come up with a whole new rigging system. So someone is literally carrying a fanny pack strapped around their chest, like Rambo and Bullet style, and there's a recorder in there and then the boom mic, and it's all going, and so everybody's trying to get set up, and people forgetting. I definitely was getting frustrated at the very beginning of this second taping, but it's, hey, Steve, we're ready. Hey, Steve, we're ready. I'm the one that's setting up the lighting, trying to help that we're getting it right, putting the cameras in certain aspects. And then I had to teach someone who has no production training whatsoever what they're going to do to record the audio. So like there's a lot into this, and then by the way, Steve's work is not done.
Really though, like, that's the AIW way. It's like you find people to fill the spots that need to be filled. Like you're a perfect example of that. You were just hanging around, and I was like, hey, we need a ring announcer. The MLJ got in a car accident, and you're like, oh, okay. Like there was no like, here's how you do it, bro. Like. That has happened for numerous jobs, you know what I mean? Like Pedro is now, the chief financial officer of AIW, just because, he
what he does. Yeah.
He handles everything, It's just fill spots, and so listen, we're not trying to bore people with talking about this whole thing. It's just it was so much different than anything that we've ever done, especially from an AIW presentation standpoint, and it is going to be different, and I keep driving that point home. It's going to be completely different from what you are used to, but I do think it's enjoyable, and they're like episodes, like the first 2 episodes at least, they may get a little longer depending on advertising or whatever, but the first 2 episodes are like 51 minutes or something like that. So it's it is a completely different presentation.
Which, by the way, we do have room for advertising in these. Hit up either John or myself, or just simply email aiw@aiwrestling.com. If you've got an organization or brand that you want to be seen during the course of Go for Broke, we can make that happen with some ads. It'll be pretty cool. You said that this was a reinvigorating thing, and it's such a great way to frame it. It was it still is very exciting. There's a lot of work still in my lap, but we've found a way to kind of space that out, which has helped me immensely. But it's still, folks, depending on the week, like I said, this is still sometimes more than a full-time job. But I think it's exciting to sit here and do this and see what we've created and are continuing to create. And I was talking to Adam, the guy who's been doing the AIW documentary, and we were talking about this a little bit last week. And I think what feels so special to it about me is, look, we shot this thing on like John said, two 2020 iPad Pros. So the brand new iPad Pros, basically, and an iPhone Pro. So we've used all Apple products. So if you end up liking this, by the way, keep tagging Apple in everything that you talk to us about. Let's see if they give us even some publicity, would be great. But I really love the fact that I think, folks, if you watch this, you're going to get this great mix of a professional production, but that is still indie. Like, it's not going to feel like more of one of those over the other, but I think that there's this really great balance, and I think that balance is what lends this to also being very unique, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a middle ground. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not going to be, and it's not going to always come off clean and polished, which is good. And like I said, the same thing with the matches. Some of these matches went out there. Some of them exceed expectations. Some of them don't hit expectations. And they're not. You're not getting it. Like, you're not going to be getting Dave Meltzer 5-star classics week after week, if at all. To be honest with you, that's really not what the purpose of this show was. It was to be something different. And some people, like I said, some people come out there and they over deliver. Some people really try to optimize their screen time. Some people don't. It's every match though really has a purpose, because the whole backdrop to the story is everyone is trying to earn these Biggins bucks, which is essentially just earning points. And there's a ranking system, and depending on where you fall, that's how you will enter this tournament later on this year. And it kind of works as like, if you're really involved in AIW, you're going to know the majority of the players. If you're not involved in AIW, we're going to let you know who the majority of the players are as far as this show is concerned. It doesn't necessarily cross into the majority of the players as far as the AIW everyone is used to, a regular, I guess, say, presentation of an AIW event. This almost works as, I don't know, like a kind of like a side project of AIW, almost like a different portion of the AIW universe. Like, there's a lot of the people in there, but they are they're doing something a little different. And the live shows at the end of the month really are going to have no impact on this show, and that's what is interesting.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, it all kind of sort of ties together. Like, if I make any sort of comparison, it's kind of, I guess, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You have the movies and they're big and great, and this is more of what you're going to see on Disney Plus, or for anybody who ever watched the show Agent Carter way back when I was on ABC.
Talking way foreign to me right now.
I know. I'm talking to the audience right now instead of you. But one of the unique things from doing this, though, I think, John, is that the audience is really going to have an opportunity to engage with us via social media. And by the time we really start to ramp up some live shows, we may see some people that we didn't anticipate becoming AIW favorites out of this show, or people we were hoping would become favorites become even bigger favorites. And what I mean? Like, there are so many different things that can happen in terms of who gets over with this viewing audience,
and it's just giving
what direction they go from there.
And like I said, it's just giving kind of people that never got that really time to shine sort of moments. And it's not everybody. There are some major players that are going to appear throughout this thing. You're going to have Joshua Bishop showing up on this thing, even though he's not in the competition. Dominic Garini is a part of it. PB Smooth. But then you're also going to have people like Arthur MacArthur who are involved, or people straight out of the AIW school that no one really knows, like a Riley Rose involved, or there are a lot of different people that are going to get some screen time. A Casey Carrington, for example, And so there's a good mix of familiar faces and brand new faces, or faces that you have seen very little of. Which it just, for me, as a owner or booker or whatever, that stuff is more exciting for me, to be able to try to do things with these guys that aren't necessarily, guys and girls that aren't necessarily people are clamoring for. Like, I think that's been the IW way forever. We make them and they take them, and that's that is a very kind of broad term. I'm not saying we've made every single person's career or whatever. But, it's just, AIW has always kind of been this revolving door of people that are coming through on their way up, and then they go off, and it's the next person up. And, it's always kind of been that way. And this is just kind of a different way to present some of these new talents. And, I am looking forward to it. And, some of the things that, we've done here could be adapted into some of these live streams. We could utilize more of this kind of in-your-face camera stuff that you'll see, or give more depth to some of the live streams. The one thing that this made us do is realize that we are capable of doing more if we need to do more. It doesn't all have to fall in Smart Mark's lap or IWTV's lap. We are very capable of adding, I guess, a little bit more meat on the bone, so to speak, for what we can do. Things were going great, and maybe we got a little bit in cruise control there, to where things were going so great, and it was just like, boom, sold out show, like, videos are selling well, like, everything's good. That's all you can really ask for as an independent promoter. But this, maybe from a fan perspective, we could be offering more and engaging fans a little bit more and giving them a little bit more. So I don't know, it's been a very eye-opening experience. I'll say that much.
Yeah, and selfishly, hey, when my pay info is rolling in the credits, look, I really enjoy doing this, and like I said, I'd like to keep doing it, but financially, because I've been volunteering my time, and it is a lot of time, would appreciate your support if you like what you see. But please, again, also don't feel pressured. I'm not trying to get everybody to throw out money that they don't have.
I don't want anybody's support. This is obviously going to generate some minimal revenue for AIW, depending on how many people watch it. That's good enough for me. As long as the wrestlers are paid and everything's paid, and if we can add a little bit into the bank going into whatever live shows we can line up, that's fine with me. I want everyone to support people like you, or the talents and the different people, the referees, everyone has that has provided their time. The views or whatever are good enough for me, and AIW is the quote unquote organization. If there's no massive debt coming out of this thing, I consider it a success. But if everyone else can, make some money, and we can make some people care about some of these newer talents, I mean, that's what it's all about.
And I will say, and kind of talking about the production aspect of it, and go for broke on this point, maybe because we got something else to talk about. But again, debuts this Thursday, April the 8th, 6 p.m. on IWTV. If you've not signed up for IWTV, do it. It's only $9.99, and you're going to get so much with that $9.99. But you talk about giving people a look and who these wrestlers are, and it's the stories. Some of what has taken so long in editing this is we are going to give all of you a look at some of these people. I know we keep saying that, but there are some incredible stories from people who are involved in this project and that will appear on it, that the people that you have not met or seen before, maybe, or not seen very much of.
Some people get very personal in talking about.
They do.
a lot of different aspects of their professional life, their personal lives. There's a lot of just really good. I don't even know how to just. It
There's
gives
a
people
really
depth,
big human aspect to it. Yeah.
because they are humans, and you don't get to see that in a 8-minute wrestling match. You know what I mean? And then you go maybe see him at the gimmick table and buy a T-shirt, and that's really it. You don't really get to see a side of a lot of these people like we were trying to show. And I think at least in the first 2 episodes, it really shines through. And I know from stuff that is currently in production that we have shot that it really only gets better, in my opinion, as far as those, different kind of dives deeper into people go.
Yeah, and it's been very fulfilling to do. Like I love being creative. I love doing this kind of stuff. I love telling stories. It's why I got involved in entertainment. But the editing process for me it's taken a little bit longer, and it's taken some time because, as John said, these people some of these things are going to get very personal and in depth, and I just feel there's a large amount of responsibility for me in sharing the stories of some of these folks who have shared what they did, and it's important to get that right. They're putting a lot of faith in us, in having it, and I want to make sure that it's done in a way that they not only approve of, but are truly happy with in terms of helping them tell their story.
Yeah, I agree. And, I just hope everybody watches it, enjoys it. If you hate it, just don't tell me about it. I don't want to hear it.
Just shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Just Twitter has enough negativity. Just fuck off, okay?
Does.
I mean, we understand that everybody is, not everybody's going to love this thing. I don't necessarily love every episode of it. It's just it's different. There are parts that I absolutely love, and then like I said, some stuff I go, well, this could have been better, or and I think we're all aware of that, and sometimes it's only going to get as good as it's going to get, because we aren't matchmaking, so to speak. That is the way of independent wrestling right now. And I'm not trying to sound like an old guy or whatever, like that's just that is just what people are accustomed to, especially throughout COVID, is matchmaking. And it's just like person A against person B, it's going to be good, and it's good. That's not necessarily what we're doing here. We're taking like person B and we're putting them against person like F, and we're seeing what happens, and sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not good. But that's pro wrestling. Like it doesn't have to be so clean all the time and so just formulaic and perfect. Like it should be a little imperfect, and you get a lot of that. And I personally worry that fans aren't going to like that, but it's just it's worth trying, as far as I'm concerned. And I understand that there's going to be people that are like, this sucks. Like, I just want to see wrestling. Like, I'm not going to lie, some of these matches are the most ungiftable matches 2021 has to offer. But that's what makes them so enjoyable. And it's enjoyable for different reasons. And there are some great matches mixed in as well. I'm not saying that there's not, but if you're coming in, it's expecting, balls to the wall, like for an hour straight, this isn't what you're going to get. And we just want to kind of curb expectations to where people understand, like, this is a different presentation. Maybe people like it, maybe people hate it, maybe people think I'm trying to cover up and it sucks, but like it's just really like what it was meant to do was, let's throw out these different matchup, let's test out these underutilized guys. Like, if it's great, it's great. If it sucks, it sucks. Like you live to fight another day, sort of thing. And every match is about earning these biggins bucks, and there's points and rankings, and it's at least not matches for nothing. If it's and that was my big thing, is like we needed to have a purpose if we're just gonna do wrestling with no fans, because I hate wrestling with no fans. I think every presentation of wrestling with no fans has not been great. So we at least wanted it to mean something. This is my hard sell. I'm telling you might hate it. Like maybe I'm a bad promoter, but you might hate it. You might love it. There's, like I said, there's parts that I absolutely love, and there's parts that I don't like. But I understand why they're also there. I don't like them as a promoter because I'm thinking like, man, people are going to think this isn't good. Like I understand them from my personal fandom why they happen, but I don't buy tickets. I don't buy DVDs. I don't, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter if I understand or if I get it or I think it makes sense. I'm just hoping AIW fans and perhaps, we get new fans come on board because of this thing.
Yeah. Hey, look, I think that we're putting, we're really putting storytelling back into independent wrestling. I would say if it's ever truly been there, we're bringing
and
that.
Some stuff gets a little convoluted. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of different things. We try everything. Like this is like let's try everything. But
this is meant to be different.
There is at least stories and different things, and I don't know. Like I said, you're either gonna love it or hate it. I don't think there's gonna be a middle ground. And watch Thursday. Watch this Thursday. That's all I could say. It helps the company. It helps the performers, especially if you donate to their, various forms of donation. But just this is born out of pure boredom, and I think we came up with something that's at least worth 50 minutes of your time once a week.
Absolutely, and. Well, I think we wind this episode down. You talked about not liking wrestling with fans. I got to talk about the fact that we are going to have. You did not like wrestling without fans, but we are going to have wrestling with fans. Unfortunately for all of you, if you have not gotten tickets, it's sold out because we are still doing very small, limited crowds. But we will be at the Odeon April 29th and 30th. And if that's
sold out quick, man, sold out, exceeded my expectations on the sellout. Listen, we don't even know, what we can and can't get away with as far as fans. So we put a very low number on it. The Odeon got clearance from the city for a little bit more, but that's based on fire code without a ring in there. So we felt 100 is the golden number. We haven't had any pushback on that. We do have a waiting list going. If you are on the mailing list, like that's where the links were posted. You can go back and get your name on the waiting list if we are able to open more things up, as Ohio has gone wide with the vaccinations for the last 2 or 3 weeks. It seems like a lot of people are getting their vaccines, which could sway, I guess, events and different public gatherings. The NFL draft is in town that week, so that could open up different things. You never know. So we are keeping a waiting list going to see if we can add some more. If we can't, we can't. It's 100. Those sold, and that's it. And we have no other dates right now. This is kind of like this is similar to the Indiana situation, to where it was like, okay, let's see how it goes. Like this is our test. Let's see how it goes. If it goes well, no incidents. Maybe, like I said, things change. You don't know with the politics of everything with COVID going on and the restrictions. You don't know what's gonna switch, what's gonna happen with the pandemic. There's a lot of factors. So this is our kind of test the 29th and 30th. We're going to see how it goes. Everything goes swimmingly. We're going to add more dates. We've been in contact with the Odeon, and they are booking things kind of in blocks of 3 months because they don't know. They don't want to book a full schedule either.
Right.
So, I've been in contact with them, and they said, like, hey, we'll take dates from May, June, and July. Okay. And then, if things go well in May, then they'll go, August and September. You know what I mean? So everything is touch and go as it's been, but it's getting better, it seems.
Yeah. And keep in mind, if you are of the 100 people on Friday or 100 people on or Thursday, 29th and 30th, we're still going to be taking precautions outside of just limiting the capacity. You're going to have to be masked up. We're going to keep you at safe distances from each other. That's why you bought the tickets the way you did in the groups or pairs, however it was that you did that. So please be mindful of that. Help us help you. Everybody wants AIW to be back and with fans. We're going to do our part and to our very best and beyond in terms of abilities and capabilities. And we ask you, if you're showing up as a fan, that you do the exact same. So whether you're someone, I don't care. I don't give a shit what your politics are or where you stand on this whole mask, not masking, all this stuff. These are the rules.
Right. It has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with the rules and regulations. You know what I mean? Like of the lawmakers. So just don't fuck around because, listen, I get that. I get the people that don't like to wear the mask, and I get the people. I understand why you got to wear a mask. I see both sides of it. Has nothing. You don't make the decisions. I don't make the decisions. It's made by, fucking doctors and the people in charge. And these are the recommendations from the state. Let's not fuck the Odeon over. You know what I mean?
Right.
They got a lot more to lose than any of us. So let's keep things, abide by the rules. And like I said, if things go well, we can add more dates. If things don't go well, we're not going to add more dates, and we're going to go back to waiting. That's why it is a mystery card. That's why it is a wait and see sort of thing. Both nights will be completely different shows. I can assure you that. And we're just gonna wait and see sort of thing. But this was the time to try. I felt that with the vaccines rolling out and a lot of people getting vaccinated, and of course the NFL draft is coming to town. Which, listen, if you guys can carpool, use public transportation, you should. We don't know what the parking situation is going to be like downtown, as much as everybody else doesn't know. So we're just getting that out right now. I don't even know where the fuck I'm going to park. So just, everyone just fucking be cool about it. And if, we can get through this, we can add more shows.
Yeah, there you go. Best way to do it. So, and look, if you want to get on that waiting list, you got to get on the email list. That's kind of where it's at right now. We didn't even get to the public in terms of selling tickets. So go to aiwrestling.com and join our email list, because there's a chance that this is maybe how we have to do it in the future. We don't know yet, so you don't want to miss out then, as we have these limited capacity shows.
You just don't know. You just don't know how things are gonna go. This is still a very touchy thing. Obviously, and I get it. If you're stay home, you don't want to go to an event, you hate events, you think it's dangerous, just stay home. We understand it. That's why we're only allowing less than 20% capacity into this just to try it out.
Yep.
Because we were cleared for way more tickets. I'm just going to put that out there right now.
Yes, we were.
Through the city. We were cleared through the city for way more tickets, and we've gone under that, way under that. So just, if you don't like it, I get it. We get it. Get your vaccine. You don't want to get your vaccine, I understand that's political too. Whatever, your prerogative. But we just feel that with the vaccines, people are feeling safer. People are getting, to that point to where they're willing to have, try out and go to events again. This felt right. It came together pretty quickly. and it sold out very quickly thanks to all of you, and the Odeon wanted us to add a third night, but I'm not doing it. I'm just saying that right now. I'm not doing it. So get on the waiting list. If we can open up more tickets, we can open up more tickets. Really just, it depends on a lot of different things. Even though I said, hey, we've been cleared for more tickets, we want a little bit more, I guess, faith in how things are going before we're going to open it up wider.
And we're still not even going to reach the allowed amount that we were. We're going to play it extra safe. And we don't have streaming details on this yet, I don't think.
We're working on it. I mean, we're working on it, but I will say if you use that, if you sign up for IWTV this month, you could be getting a lot of AIW content. That's all I'm saying. I would think that will be the landing place if we're going to stream. But I don't know. We figured we would get through Mania weekend, and we'll iron all that stuff out. Chat it up. Maybe it's on Fight. I don't know. It's really kind of. I think it's going to be on IWTV, but it really depends. It depends, and a lot of it depends on if we fucking blow numbers out of the water on Go for Broke on Thursday, and Tuesday. Who fucking knows? Let's if we do well, of course they're gonna be let's throw these on IWTV too. So I don't know. Yeah. Watch them.
Yes, watch Go for Broke. Again, AIW's Go for Broke premieres this Thursday, April the 8th at 6 p.m. on IWTV. It's the only place that you can watch it. And we don't know the details yet in terms of replays, when it'll be ready on video on demand. So set your alarm, whatever you need to do. Set a reminder, 6 p.m. Thursday, April 8th on IWTV. If you have not signed up for IWTV yet, make sure you do it. It's only $9.99 for an entire month. That's going to be amazing. And then April 13th, Tuesday at 10 p.m., AIW's Go for Broke rolls into its regular Tuesday slot. That's when you can expect to watch all of the following episodes after the premiere one on Thursday. Anything else you want to add, John Thorne?
No, let's wrap it up.
There you go, folks. There it is. So we hope that all of you tune in. We'll be tweeting along and social media with you and interacting with you as it goes and watching along with you. So check that out one more time. IWTV, 6 p.m. AIW's Go for Broke this Thursday, April the 8th. And we'll see a handful of you April 29th and 30th. And John Thorne, what do you think? Maybe we'll come back and talk to everybody next week here on The Card is Going to Change.
I know we said it last time, but schedules and for editing and all that shit fucked it all up. But let's give it a shot.
We'll see.
All right, maybe we'll see you next week.